Hey everyone, please ignore my over-processed blonde hair. I just had it done yesterday, not loving it, but I'll talk about the hair at the end of the video, because we're here not for the hair, but hair is a big part of it, because you know when the hair is not quite right, you just don't feel like yourself. But anyways, we'll talk about it a bit later. If you see Mickey in the background and some soft toys, this is my repair pile. Mason just brings them and piles them when they need to be stitched up or something. So yeah, this Mickey, actually I've got Mickey and Minnie, and he's so adorable. I bought him for myself years ago in Paris Disneyland, but yeah, they're now Masons, so quite cute. Alright, so let's just catch up. Today is going to be a little bit of sort of behind the scenes, what I've been working on, what I've been doing, etc. Just a nice, easy kind of chatty video. Firstly, there are a couple of books that I bought regarding mushrooms, and I bought them with the vision of using them for the online course. So the cozy watercolor mushrooms, if you're new to this channel, hey, welcome. But if you haven't heard yet, I just brought out a new course. So it's about painting mushrooms and looking at mushrooms in sort of different styles, whimsical as well as more realistic, applying loads of color to it and being kind of colorful and approaching textures, all that good stuff. If you love mushrooms, that course could be well enjoyed by you. So the few books that I ordered, they didn't come on time. So this book is kind of like fresh from the publisher. It's just been published and I pre-ordered it and a few weeks ago and it just arrived. So I have added now another class to the course about mushroom book recommendations. So we'll be doing reviews for these books, and you will be able to see them here on YouTube. I already have done a review on this one here, which is, shall I say, two. So this one right there is available on my channel, and then this little one is also available. I think it's in the same video, so you can have a look if you are interested in that kind of art books. Well, the first one is art book, the one that's already available, but the other two, there are more encyclopedias, but they're just amazingly, stunningly beautiful. So yeah, looking forward to reviewing them. The other thing I have been working on, and straight after getting my course out, was a commission. It came out of nowhere, literally. I did not expect it. I've done a commission earlier in the year for the same brand, and it's a product, like a new product that will be launched, and it's the commission for the packaging. So I'm creating an illustration to go on the product packaging. So that's quite exciting, having your artwork going on there. But there are caveats. When you're working for a commission, you have to follow a brief and you have to really kind of stick to the points that you need to achieve. And depending on the brief, or depending what the brand wants to achieve, you have to then follow it. And then of course you can throw in your ideas and you can have like a conceptual discussion about things, but generally, like in this case, I don't want to go too much into it because I had to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Basically, my hands are quite tight in this particular commission because I can't mix the colors, and you have to use obviously the colors that come in the product. As an artist, it's very difficult to just take colors, specifically if it's a small color palette, and be able to create artwork that you are happy with. But then it's not about you all the time, it's also about what the company wants. So it could be that out of the few versions or options that you give them, they might pick one that you don't like. but it's what they think will work best for the product. So it's a really interesting concept, and I have enjoyed it. I mean, for the first one, it was a smaller palette, and then this is now the bigger palette, so I have more color options, which is more exciting, and I feel I thought it'd be a bit easier, but it's interesting now. I've been working for a week, just over a week on it, and it is still quite challenging. It's not an easy thing to do at all. So I have produced loads and loads of illustrations so far, and then sometimes it just needs to be changed a little bit. And yeah, it's been interesting, but quite intense, because when I do a commission, I'm fully committed. Like, I want my client to be super, super happy with the end result. So if it takes more and more work, I will go with it. I'll clear my diaries. I'll make sure that I produce the work quickly, and then we talk about it. And for me, it's very important about the communication. So I do enjoy that part of doing commissions. And if it's a product commission, then of course it's very different to when, for example, it's a commission for a client who likes your artwork and they want something like with your style, like a certain flower, for example, or a certain something, and then you can obviously use whatever art supplies you want, and you can be more creative and you can just be yourself. Whereas here, I feel like I do want to still have part of me in that illustration. I want to be recognized in that illustration as an artist, but at the same time, it has to tick all the other boxes, which your brain just blows sometimes, because sometimes it's impossible to achieve what is being asked, like in that same illustration. So what I do is I create a couple of options that tick all the boxes and let them choose what they think will be the best, because it's just is impossible sometimes, completely impossible, without, again, going too much into detail. Perhaps I will be able to share a little bit more behind the scenes once the product comes out. I think it's next year. So, but for now, it's been really interesting, and I'm looking in this area because I have the entire spread of all these illustrations. So I am ready to move on. Let's just put it that way. I feel like creatively I have achieved what has been asked. I have ticked all the boxes within the last 2 options, and I'm waiting to hear back whether they want still more options. So yeah, the commission might be coming to an end. Well, it is coming to an end. It might have finished already. I don't know yet. So I'm quite eager to hear today. Today's Friday that I'm filming it on. Friday the 13th. Ugh. So yeah, fingers crossed. Cross your fingers, your toes, everything you have for me, because I'm ready for a new adventure. And obviously watercolors is something that I put my mind to creating a new set in September. And this time I want to go back to my roots. I want to do them myself. I had the experience with hiring a manufacturer and creating my watercolors by sharing my recipes with the manufacturer. However, because the pigments are not the same, because it's not your hand how you're making things, I felt it was also a slightly challenging at times. And truth be told, with one color, I just had to, because we kept going back and forth so many times, and the color just was not the color that I wanted, that in the end I just thought I will go with it. You know, it's still a color that was interesting and beautiful, but it just wasn't what I was or what I had in mind to begin with. And if the color was made the way I wanted it, I feel that the entire palette would have been a completely different thing. Even if it's just one color you replace or change it up slightly, the whole combination can change. And so learning from this experience, I just want to go back to be doing it myself. And of course, then it's in smaller quantities. And then it's all about this hard work of filling the half pans rather than having someone do the tubes for me, which is, of course, you know, a lot easier, where I just pay the money, I get the ready product, and then I can sell it. So yeah, I do want to go back to creating my own handmade colors, at least just for now. I might try something else. I do want to try going back to the tubes as well at some point, I want to change up the design of the tube. I just, with time, I don't think it works with my branding very well. So there will be changes to my watercolor range. I just need to find time to be doing those half pens again. Another project I have in mind is actually working on the next online course straight away, because I feel like the cozy watercolor mushrooms would be a great pairing with the colorful countryside that I have been enjoying, and I had to kind of park it a little bit because I started this commission. So I do want to create that course as well. So that will be the next course that I will be working on. It's been pretty busy here, I have to say. So it's I feel like we had a lovely break over the summer, or the end of the summer, and then it just started going really, really fast, and just feel like I want to slow down a little bit. We also finally done up our living room, and I moved loads of books downstairs for the library section of the lounge, and it's kind of starting to come together. And also that means once I emptied those cupboards or those shelves here in the studio, it all looks a little bit of a mess. So I need to think about organization, like units, and have some baskets in place and things where I can put my supplies in, and then just take the baskets off the shelves and use them. One thing I started doing, which is really helpful, in the past, when I would work on a project, I would want to leave everything on my desk, thinking that I might want to come back to it. And then it just would sort of be quite cluttered, and then I wouldn't have enough space to do something different. So now whenever I finish on a project, except for this commission, I do clear up the desk. So for this commission, I gave myself a week, and I know that I will be coming back every day to it. So I don't clear my desk of it. But everything else, when I'm working on a video, when I'm working on an online course, I bring my supplies out, I lay everything nicely so that I kind of can work easily with it. And then after I'm finished for the day, I then clear out my desk. I put everything back into places. And it's so nice for me to come back into my studio the next day and have a clear desk. So it makes me feel like there's a lot of space that I can use to put a sketchbook there and start something new, something different. You know what I mean? Also, exciting thing is, yesterday I finally updated my MacBook Pro. My old one was like super old. I'm talking about like 10 years or something, and it became obsolete. So before that, if I had any issues, I would just call Apple customer service, and they would help me sort it out over the phone. It was really, really easy and convenient. And then last time he said to me, look, this is so old now, it's obsolete. We won't be able to help you if you get if you have any sort of issues next time. So, and this was all happening, I think, just before or during the time when the whole Etsy malarkey. So I had to build a website and a new online shop, all that, knowing that at any point my computer can just like pack up, you know. So it was quite nerve-wracking, and then I just sort of carried on, and thank goodness it all worked out fine. But it is so slow, and it's just not doing things as I need, and it takes me forever to edit videos. Not the editing part, but the saving of the video thereafter. It almost takes half the time that it takes me to edit the video. So if it's like a longer video, 20-minute video, would take me about 40 minutes to edit, and then another 20 to save. So we're talking about a whole hour for that video, just for that. So yeah, it will be, I think, a relief to have a computer that works a lot smoother and faster, because with the growth of the business, you need to do more things, and you need kind of faster things, or technology that helps you with it. So the phone update, that was good. The pictures have improved significantly, so I'm quite happy with that. So I'm hoping for some improvement with the book as well, the computer. Yeah, I haven't set it up yet. It's still all boxed up, and with the new Mac products, Apple products, you basically need to get all of these adapters because they no longer work with USB cables, this and that, and it's just like, oh my god, well, why is it all so complicated? But it is what it is. So I am excited about that part, which I'll see if I find some time over the weekend to set it up and start working from the new laptop. The next video that I will be probably shooting is the review for this book. And it's a book that I purchased as a present for my 40th. I mean, it's not that sort of remarkable, but I did want to treat myself to things. I started buying a lot less things, and whenever I buy something now, it feels like, you know, like a treat. So that is the book that you will see. This is Scentual Garden Exploring the World of Botanical Fragrance by Ken Druse. Beautiful coffee table book. Now that I have a coffee table, we did have one before, but it just wasn't a great one. So now it has all that kind of beautiful vibe going on in the living room. So that will look really nicely. And once I have reviewed it, that's where it's going. So let's talk about my hair briefly. In the last video, I had my previous hair, but I never got a chance to mention that, you know, when I went to see the lady who did my hair with the air touch technique that I never heard of before. So I saw her second time, and the second time I actually didn't like how the hair came out, because the bottom, like, I had more length to it, and the bottom was just so over bleached, over kind of processed, and there was no natural hair left there at all, which I like to have that kind of natural blonde look. So it was like a bunch of really, really light hair, and then at the top there was a lot of regrowth. So when I went to see her first time, she said to me, with the air touch, it will take a good 4 months to have it done again. So it's quite expensive, but in the end it's okay because you don't do it as often, is what she said. So after the first time, 1 month passed, and I started kind of noticing that the regrowth was a lot more noticeable than like when I would have my normal highlights. With normal highlights, you'd have like a straight line, and depending also who does your hair and how well they do it, sometimes it's less visible, but still kind of, you know, you have a line. Now with the air touch, there is no straight line. You can't with your eye tell exactly where the line is because it's such a smooth blending, but you do get a lot more darkness. So I would lift my hair and I'd have like a lot of darkness everywhere. So I had to wait for 2 months, and at that point I kind of was running there because I realized usually with highlights in 2 months it didn't look as dark up here as what it looked with the air touch. So I wasn't happy with that at all because I don't like looking like that. It works fine with people who have lighter roots. It looks like a nice soft blend, but not with me. And also with the grays, I have like a bunch of grays in the middle of my head, so that just is not for me. I ended up going there, and then 2 months in, she says to me, "What do you want me to do? This is too early." And I said, "But what do you mean too early? I had like a good this much darkness here." But of course, because it's a soft blend, the reality was that she could only do this much, which is too little, right? But visually, it's a lot darker. So she said to me, "Okay, I'm going to do only contour. I'm not going to go over everything else." And I said, "Okay, well, do something because I just can't have it like that." So what she did was she literally just did around my parting, so the top part here and the contour, very thin line, like just a little bit here, so that basically I could not wear my hair anyway. Quite often I like to kind of have like a bun, you know, or have like hair up here, whatever. I just like to change things up, and I just couldn't do it. So after I saw her, the second time, after the contouring, there was so much darkness there. And again, a month later, it was even darker. And then 2 months in, which was from that point 4 months since I first saw her, in that 4 months, I had so much darkness in my roots. It almost reminded me of my hair during lockdown. Like, remember when we couldn't see the hairdressers? Yeah, that just was not for me. I looked like I, didn't have time to see my hairdresser in a very, very long time. So I don't like that. I don't like having nice hair and then by the time I need to get it done, it just looks horrendous. So those contrasts I didn't like. So what ended up happening after the second time, 2 months passed, it looked odd because here in the roots, a lot of darkness, and then here it was all over processed. So the contrast from the roots to here, it looked a mess. And it's so disappointing because I really liked her work on the first go, and I was hoping we would maintain that look, but it almost came across to me that she was quite keen to have hair that is a mess and then she makes it look good, and then she liked to get back to that mess before she would make it look good. So I think she liked probably that 6 months that she said to me, that's probably her time when she likes to get the hair to look good again. And for me, I don't want to have 2 months of hair looking nice and the 4 months looking horrendous. So, also keeping in mind her prices were a lot higher than the others. So for a contour, she charged me £150, I think, for a contour. It's not even a half head. I had a half head done with a really, really good salon now. Sorry, did I say half head? Full head. I had a full head done of highlights and it cost me just over £150. So I think, that's a big contrast there. And her full head was something ridiculous. It was close to £300. It was, when I'm saying her being the air touch. And the way she's done at the back, there was a lot of darkness anyway. So yeah, it's just one of those things. So I'm still not happy where I was. So coming back to this hair, I went back to a salon that I was at 5 years ago. I consider it the best salon in Cambridge. Basically, at the moment, I wanted it to be less blonde here. I feel like there is now significantly more blonde, and because we chopped the ends that needed to be chopped, they were just over processed. You can't really do anything with them. Every time they do this damage to my hair, it's basically I have to cut it off. So I'm trying to get back into a routine where I'm happy with my hair, where it's blonde enough but not too blonde and it looks natural and I'm just, satisfied with it. But what happened now, because we cut off quite a good length, I feel that this hair is a little bit too short for me, which is okay because I will be growing it out and it grows pretty fast for me, but this length is not mine. Another inch and that would have been perfect. So the hair is too short. The blow dry was horrendous. I did not like the blow dry. I mean, generally, I don't know that many people who are satisfied with a blow dry. They just do such a, I don't know, very rarely do you get a good kind of contemporary blow dry of your hair. Usually it just looks very kind of dated and just it just doesn't feel like you. So I'm waiting to wash my hair and style it myself and see if I like it any better. So that is my little update on the hair, and I will see you next time. I hope you're well. I hope you're enjoying the weather. We had really warm part of September and October to the point where I actually pulled out my shorts again and wore those out, so it was that warm. But then it's getting slightly colder, so wore the boots for the first time yesterday, and then the whole color scheme has to be changed because with black boots there's no way you can wear colored pants. You need to wear or trousers. It's American for trousers. I don't get that. Why? I never liked the word knickers. It just sounds so weird. But yeah. On that note, I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.